So this is the demo of the app in which we can save the image in SQL database itself. So here I am choosing the image to get it saved in SQL database. So let me select this one. You can see that image saved and now it will be loaded from the database. Yeah. So welcome to Techno Learning, and if you have not subscribed yet, then press the subscribe button. Also, in this video, I'm gonna discuss about SQL database image storage. Okay, so for that I have opened the Android Studio and clicked on create a new project. Here choose the empty activity and now I have to give the name of the application. So I am giving the name as image SQL DB and make sure the language chosen is Java. Okay, so the Gradle is building and it is built up. Now I have to go to within manifest for file read write permissions. So here I will be giving that users permission, then read external storage, after that write one. Okay, so here write external storage. I have given both the permissions. Now what I gonna do, I have to come within this main XML and design the screen. Okay, so for that I have to remove this text view from here, and instead of that text view I have to add a image view here. Okay, so its width and height, match parent and wrap content. Okay, so now the another properties such as margin is taken as 20 dp, and this image view is almost completed, but we have to add a source image here. So I'm adding that from the drawable and it is IC launcher background. Okay, so now you can see that in the right side of the screen, if I make it to match parent, then you can see that this is the proper view. So now I have made out this uh, properties of constraint layout here that I have given. So you have to give this bottom to bottom of, left to left of, right to right of, then put top to top of, make it to parent. Okay, now I have to add a floating action button here with width and height as wrap content, and now I have to provide source image for this, but for that I have to add the vector asset. I will be clicking on this project, then right click on this resources, then go to new and vector set, click on this, and then here you have to search for image, and then you can choose this, click on OK. Then we have this image, IC baseline image, and you can choose the color as you want, and I will be clicking on that finish and OK. So now I can add that image here to the source for this particular floating action button. Okay, so now I have to take this within a certain boundary. So I have to add some constraint layout properties for this, and for that I can copy it from the image view also, but now I'm giving the IDs firstly for this constraint layout, then image view, and furthermore that floating action button. Okay, so here I'm giving the ID for this constraint layout as constraint layout, and then image view, so I'm adding the ID for this as image view. Okay, and now for this particular floating action button I'm giving the ID as button select image. Okay, and now what I wanna do is to place this button within bottom center. So here you can see that with these three lines you can paste this at the bottom, and then giving the margin from the bottom size is 20 dp. So now it is looking good and this is completed, the XML part is finished. And now we have to move further for the Java coding part. Okay, here you can see that it is error free, and match your code with it. Okay, now I have to right click here on the Java, and then here I have to click new and class. I have to make a DB helper class, and again here I have to create another class for the utility purpose, so I'm making it utils. Okay, so now I'm within this public class utils, and here I have to make method for converting the image into a bitmap, and then getting the image from bitmap and content relating things. Okay, so for getting the image, I'm getting the byte array within the parameters, and after that we have to return the bitmap. So here we'll get the image in the form of byte array, then with the help of this function we are converting it to bitmap. Okay, so yes, it is done, as bitmap is a important format when it comes to image in Android Studio. Okay, and now we are returning the byte array whenever we are getting input stream. Okay, and it may throw some exception also, so I have to handle it. Okay, I have to open this method, and within this method, like, I have to add byte array output stream, and then byte buffer, and then byte array output stream. Okay, now I have to make a buffer also. So for buffer there should be a buffer size for it, like 1024, and then we have a byte array. It will be of a size, buffer size, yeah, and then we have to take up the length from 0, and we'll make a loop with the help of this. Length is equals to input stream dot read. Okay, so image will come from the input stream, so it is reading the data from the input stream. That's why we have getting this loop, and then we are writing it into the buffer, and then it will go up to the length. Okay, then we will be returning the byte buffer to byte array, so it will return the byte array. Okay, at last we are converting it to byte buffer to byte array. Now we are within this DB helper class, and within this class we have to make like variables for, like, it may be, you can say that constant variables that we are making right now. So first of all we are making image ID and storing it such constant as ID, and then we have a private final context and making a variable for context also, and now another one for it should be a string, like constant thing, image, and then it should be named as image. Okay, again we have a database helper. Okay, so this is showing error because we have to customly create this class, so don't worry about it. And let me check, so we don't need these things, but okay, if I click on this, then you can see that it has given that particular template. So I am DB helper. Don't worry, I will be removing that after creation of that custom DB helper class. Now SQLite Database, as we are using SQLite within this for storing the image. Okay, so we have taken that database as mdb, and then we have to take up the database name, database version. So it is database name images.db, and then we have like int and database version. Okay, so these are the things needed for creation of the database. And now I have to give like private static final string, and then we have image table. We have to give the table name also. Okay, so here I will be giving it as images table. Okay, and then we have like a private static final, and now string. Okay, and like it is for creating the table, so create image table. Here we have to write the query. It is similar as MySQL query if you have used it ever. It is so common. It is taught in schools also and within college also. So should like for creating a particular table, create table, then we have to give the table name, and then we have to give its data members. Okay, so we are taking image ID, and then we have like image ID, and now here I have to type the type of this image ID. So image ID is an int, so it is integer in terms of MySQL or SQLite, and it should be the primary key. Primary key is a unique key or unique field by which you can query for the records from the database. And then auto increment. Afterwards we have image, and then image is blob, and it should be not null. Okay, and now this is close. Okay, so no issues. Still we have to make some space here. Now we have created all these things right now in front of you. So here let me make the class like private static, and then database helper, the one for which we have taken up that template. Okay, so don't worry about it. And then it should be extending up for what? SQLite open helper. Okay, and now we have to open this again. What we gonna do is to give its data members. Like here I am giving database helper, and then context. Actually it's a constructor here. Okay, so now within this we have a super call also, and within the super call we are passing context as well as the database name, and then null, and then we have the version for database. Okay, so now this is created, and make sure that you have removed that template in the 7th line. I've already removed it. Okay, so now we have some override method like on create, on upgrade. So we have to execute the SQL query. So for that we have to execute these methods. Okay, so executing the create image table with the help of on create, and then we have on upgrade method. Okay, wait, so do you know what does blob means? We have written in the create table command blob for image. Actually blob is binary large object, so we store the image in the format of blob, binary large object. Okay, so now on our upgrade we are running the command for drop table if exit. That means if the table is already exist in our database, then it will be removed and a new table will be created. Okay, so here we have this, and let me see, there is some error. It may be some silly mistake. Yeah, okay. So we have like this create table, and here in the on upgrade we have given create table instead of table name. So we are dropping the table, not that command. Okay, so correct it, and then we have called the on create. Okay, so now we have done with this method, and now we have to go with reset also, but reset is not overloaded method, so not an override method. We have to create it separately. So here reset, and within the reset we have this md helper and calling on upgrade, and then passing database version, old version, and then new version. Okay, so what it will do, the reset function, it will just drop that table, delete that table, and then make a new table, because on create is called within that on upgrade. Now we have this db helper. This is a constructor, and now we are making it to like context is equals to context, and then db helper is equals to new database helper, and then the context. Okay, so we have up to this, and for now let me make some space, and then we have to create like public db helper, and this is open method, so it may also throw some exception related to SQLite, so we have to type throws SQL exception here. Okay, so mdb, and then mdb helper dot get writable database, and then we have to return this context, this. Okay, and then we have a public void and close method also, as we have created the open method, and so there is also a method for closing it. Okay, so now we have just called mdb helper dot close. Okay, so now we have this, and again we are making a method here, public void insert image. Okay, so for inserting the image into the database, so it will take up the database into a byte array, and within the database it will be storing in the form of BLOB, that is binary large object. Now we have like content value cb equals to new content value, and then cb dot put, and here we'll be putting image and then image byte. Okay, and now we have mdb dot insert and then image table. Okay, and then null, then we are passing the cb here. Okay, so insert image is done, and now we have another method for retrieving image, as we are doing this within this demo, that we are first storing the image, then we are loading that particular image from the database. So for storing the image, insert method will be called, but for retrieving or opening that image from the database, retrieve image from db, this method will be useful. So we are just getting it by cursor, and then we are just calling up a query and passing the table name here, and then what we need like image, and then null selection arguments, and all these things will be null, like group by, having, order by, all these commands. So then image id plus, like it should have a limit, and then descending one. Okay, and limit by 1, so it will just open the top one. Okay, so now like having this dot move to first, actually we are storing the image again and again, so it will be coming up in a order but we are returning the first one from the descending order. Okay, so now cur dot move to first, and then byte blob, cur dot get blob, and then column index, and the column index passing the image within this. Okay, and then cur dot close. Okay, then we'll be returning this blob. Blob is a byte array. Okay, and then we are calling cur dot close after this if done, and then here we'll be returning what? Null. Okay, okay, so now let me remove this extra space, also that one extra curly brace. Make sure now there are no errors. This is error free, you can see that. And I'm just scrolling it. If you have messed up at anywhere, then pause the video and correct your code. Okay, so now we are within this main activity, and here we have to code for the main activity. This means for the screen. Okay, so first of all we have to implement on click. So just write implement, then view dot on click listener. Now click on that red bulb and implement its method on click. Click on OK. Okay, so now what we gonna do is to make some variable here, like first of all we have a select image or select picture and making it 200. It's just like a flag for getting image from action image chooser. Okay, and then we are giving the tag for this, like main activity, and then we have a linear layout here, like name as lnr lyt, and then we have image view. Okay, and again we have last one was floating action button, so it should be named as button select image. Okay, then we have a db helper here, and now we have this on create method. So within this on create method, first let me map with the XML code. So at layout, find view by id r.id, and name was constraint 1. Okay, and then I will be just copying this by 3 times, and here I'll be just giving the name for like button select image, and here button select image. Okay, the last one, and the last one is for image view. Actually wrongly write like db helper, so image view, and then here I will be giving like image view. Okay, and now what I gonna do here is to set up the on click listener call when the button select image is called or is pressed. Okay, it is that floating action button, and then we have this db helper. Okay, so we are making it initializing that. Okay, and now I have to make some methods like show message on a snack bar for like the message you have seen in the demo, like the image is stored in the database successfully, or image is loaded from the database successfully. So we are showing them within the snack bar. So we have to pass all these things for the snack bar, and we are getting that message within this parameter, and will be showing up with the help of snack bar. Okay, snack bar dot show method will be called. Okay, so this method is done. Now what I gonna do here is to make another method. So for that method we have actually a different kind of task within this main activity, like showing up messages and then maintaining the database and then utility we have. So we are first doing this on click, when we click on that floating action button, then what it will done. Okay, first of all, it will ask for the permission, like if you have the permission for reading the external storage, and like for that we have to create a method called has storage permission. Okay, then if it is having the permission, then we'll be calling the open image chooser. This will also a function that we have to create. Now if we do not have the permission, then we have to request for that permission. So we have to write activity compat dot request permissions here. Okay, and here within the parameters, like making up to this brackets, and then app compat activity, it's a typecast. Okay, dot this, then we getting like new image, new string, and then we getting the permissions within this curly braces. Okay, so manifest dot permission, and then first one will be for reading, and then the other one will be for writing, separated by comma. Okay, so we have written this, and now we'll be coming within the next line, and it will show an error because we haven't placed that comma here. We have to place a comma, and then we have to give the same manifest dot permission dot write external storage. Okay, so now what we gonna do is to give comma here, and request quote is 200. Okay, that we have also given in the starting of this class as a constant. Okay, so now we have to create such methods, like first method is has a storage permission, and the second method is open. So first of all, I'm creating this has storage permission, and within this, first of all, this should be context. So change the parameter, and then what we gonna do here is to int read equals to, and we have context compat dot check self permission, and then we have to pass out the context, then access the manifest dot permission, and then here we have to give read external storage. Okay, now we have to return the boolean value. So we are checking here only, like read equals to package manager dot permission granted. If the permission is granted, then return true. If not, then it will return the false. Okay, now we have this method open image chooser. Like if you have granted the permission, then image chooser will be open, from where you have to choose an image. Okay, so we have this open image chooser here, and now you have to just make action intent, like intent, and then new intent, alt enter to import this. And now what we gonna do next is to make like intent dot set type. So we'll be only calling for the images format only. Okay, so it will take up the images only, no video, no documents, only images will come within the chooser. Okay, now we have this set action. So within the set action, we calling up action get content. Okay, and then we have to start this. So start activity, and start activity for result, and then pass the intent dot create chooser, and in which we have to pass the intent, and here we have to type a message kind of thing, like select a picture. Okay, and then we have to get that constant here. Okay, so this is done, the open image chooser. And now what I'm gonna do next is to make newer methods. Like First I have to make some space, and then here I'll be making a method called onActivity result. Okay, so it is also an overridden one. Make it public instead of protected. Okay, and now what I'm gonna do next is to remove this. Okay, there is no need for that. Okay, so we have this on activity result right now, and within this method we have to work. So first of all, let me make proper space on the screen so that may be visible to you. Okay, so I've removed that super call, will add it later. Okay, so here I'm checking if the result code is result okay, then request code is equals to 200, that is select picture constant we have given. Then we have to get the image URI. So URI select image URI, then get data dot get data. Okay, so we are getting the data from the intent, and then checking if selected image URI is not equals to null, then what we gonna do is to make another if condition here for if save image in DB. This is also a method that we have to create, and we are passing the selected that URI, selected image URI, and then we are showing a message here like image saved in database successfully. Okay, you can write the message according to you, that's pretty fine. And now up to just image view dot set image URI, as we have to show the image within that image view. Also the image that we have selected from the gallery, we have to show it within this image view, that's why we are setting the image URI. And then we have to add a run method for handler like runnable one for timestamp, like image view dot set visibility view dot gone after 2 seconds. Okay, so after saving the image, the visibility of the image will go within 2 seconds. Then we have to load that particular image from the database. Okay, so now within this new runnable, what we gonna do is to get that image back. Okay, that's mean we are loading that image from the database. So here I'm making a method called load image from DB, and if it is returning true, then what will happen, set visibility visible. Okay, if your image is loaded from the database, then it will be visible within that image view. Then we have to show the message like image successfully loaded from the database. So I'm showing that message. Message is a kind of text that you can use by yourself also. Okay, so making like successfully. Okay, so now we have to give this time for this also, like I'm giving 3 seconds, 3.5 seconds. Okay, it is taking in the millisecond, that's why we have to write up to 3.5 into multiply by 1000. Okay, so now we have this method called save image. We have to create this, so I have created this method. So within this method, what we gonna do is to use that class that we have made earlier. So first of all, that we have to add this within the try catch, as it may cause exceptions. So first we have to catch that, and then we'll be move further. Okay, so db helper dot close. If we catch an exception, then the helper will be closed and return false. Okay, so that's mean the image will not saved in the database. And if it is saved, then we have to open that helper, and we have to take up this in the form of input stream, and then with the help of get content resolver, then open input stream, then we have to pass out that URI for that particular image. Then we have makeup and byte array for this input data that will be coming up from input stream. So for that utils.getByte, that we have made up that function within that util class that we made, and we are passing the input stream within it. Okay, like we are getting the image from get content resolver dot get input stream, and we are passing the location of that image, that is URI, and then we are passing this within that function for getting byte for it. Then we are saving this with the insert image and closing it. Okay, now the another method called load image from database. It is also similar to the saving one. Then we are to return true and false within this method also. Okay, so here also we have the try catch for catching the exception. Okay, so exception E, and then we have like db helper dot close, and return will be false if any type of exception will come in catch section. Now db helper dot open, first of all open it, and then we have the byte array, and then we have bytes equals to, now we have to take up data, like we have to retrieve image from database helper, and then we'll be closing it, and then image view dot set bitmap, and then image util dot get image. We are getting the image from the database here. Okay, passing the byte. Okay, then we have to return the true here. Okay, so now we have this one error. We have to add the supercall that we have removed accidentally. So add the supercall, and then you will be able to see that there are no errors. Okay, so now almost the errors are gone after adding the supercall. Yeah, so I've added supercall, and let me see. Yeah, there are no errors now, only 7 warnings. At the rightmost top you can see that only this yellow one. So I'm just scrolling it down. If you have got anything messy, then you can pause the video and correct your code. Okay, now I have to run this, so I have to click on that run button here. Now it is building, and then it will be installed in my device. I'll show you the output also. But we got an error after installing. It got crashed. So let me check what does this mean. Okay, so now where does the error? Okay, so in main activity line number 38. Okay, that's a very silly mistake. We have typecasted that constraint layout within linear layout. So change this to constraint layout. Okay, so just make it constraint layout instead of linear layout, then your program or the app will run successfully. So I will be reinstalling it by clicking on that run button here, and then yeah, it is installing and installed. Now you can see that it is asking for the permission, allow, and now click again on this, and here you can choose any image from your gallery, and then it will be saved into the database. Then it will be load up from the database. So image saved in database, now it will be loading from the database. So loaded successfully, and again I have to check for the different image also. So I am checking for this this one, 4th one I think. Yeah, so we'll checking for that. So image saved in database, now it will be loading. So it is loaded also. So thank you for watching this video.